The moment Marcus walked into the coffee shop and saw the woman waiting at the corner table, he knew his friends had set him up for humiliation. She was stunning, not just beautiful, but radiant in a way that seemed completely out of his league. And judging by the sympathetic smile on her face, she knew it too. His friends had been relentless for months. "You need to get back out there," they'd said. "Emma's been gone 2 years. She'd want you to be happy." What they meant was, stop being the pathetic widower who picks up his daughter from ballet class with paint stains on his jeans and hasn't bought new clothes since 2019. So when they'd insisted on setting him up with someone perfect, Marcus had reluctantly agreed, mostly to get them off his back. Now, standing in the doorway with his heart hammering, he understood. This was a joke, a cruel social experiment his supposedly supportive friends had orchestrated, probably taking bets on how quickly he'd embarrass himself. The woman, sleek blazer, designer bag, the kind of confidence that came from never doubting your place in the world, was clearly in on it. She had to be. Marcus almost turned around, almost walked right back out and drove home to 7-year-old Sophie, who was having a sleepover at his sister's house. But something stopped him. Maybe it was the memory of Sophie's excited face when he'd told her he was going to meet someone. Maybe it was exhaustion. Or maybe it was the simple fact that he'd already paid for parking. He approached the table. "Sarah." She stood, extending her hand. "Marcus. It's nice to meet you." Her grip was firm, professional. This close, he could see the careful makeup, the perfectly styled hair. Everything about her screamed effort, the kind of effort you made when you were expected somewhere important, not when you were meeting a 36-year-old high school art teacher for coffee as part of someone's elaborate prank. "Look," Marcus said, deciding to get it over with. "I appreciate you doing this, whatever my friends paid you or promised you, but you really don't have to." "Paid me?" Sarah's eyebrows shot up. "What are you talking about? Come on, you're clearly." He gestured vaguely at her, at himself, at the obvious gap between them. "This is obviously some kind of setup. And I get it, my friends mean well, but I'm not interested in being the punchline." Something shifted in Sarah's expression. The polite smile faded, replaced by something harder to read. "Sit down," she said quietly. "Please." Against his better judgment, he sat. Sarah was quiet for a moment, studying her coffee cup. When she finally spoke, her voice had lost its professional polish. "Your friends didn't pay me, Marcus. Mine paid me." "What?" "My coworkers." She laughed, but it sounded hollow. "They've been on my case for months about my Ice Queen routine at work. Too serious, too focused, too married to my career. Last week, they literally created a dating profile for me without my permission and matched me with you. They said if I didn't go on at least one date, they'd donate to charity in my name and announce it at the next company meeting, making it clear it was because I'm such a workaholic hermit." She met his eyes. Corporate law. Everyone's competitive about who can seem the most well-rounded. Marcus felt his assumptions crumbling. "So we're both here under duress. Apparently." She paused. "And for what it's worth, you're not what I expected either." "Let me guess. You expected someone more put together." "I expected someone cocky. Your profile made you sound like you had your whole life figured out. Dedicated teacher, devoted father, rebuilding after loss. Very inspirational TED Talk." She shook her head. "But you walked in here looking like you wanted to disappear. Like you were preparing for someone to hurt you." The observation hit too close to home. Marcus looked away, watching the other customers, couples on laptops, friends laughing over pastries, people whose lives seemed so much simpler than his. "My wife died of an aneurysm," he heard himself say. No warning. She went to bed with a headache and never woke up. Sophie was 5. He swallowed hard. "Everyone kept telling me I was so strong, handling it so well, being such a great dad. But the truth is, I've just been going through the motions. Work, Sophie, sleep. Repeat. My friends think I need to move on, but I don't even know what that means anymore." When he finally looked back at Sarah, her eyes were glistening. "My sister has stage 4 cancer," she said softly. "She's 32. 2 kids. She was diagnosed 6 months ago, and the medical bills are." She trailed off. "I work 70-hour weeks because every extra dollar goes to her treatment, to her family. My coworkers think I'm ambitious, climbing the corporate ladder. They have no idea I eat ramen most nights so I can cover her kids' school expenses. The designer bag. A gift from a client 3 years ago. The blazer. Goodwill. The silence that followed wasn't uncomfortable. It was the silence of two people who'd accidentally stumbled into unexpected honesty. I'm sorry, Marcus said. About your sister. I'm sorry about your wife. They sat with that for a moment. Then Sarah laughed, a real laugh this time, soft and surprised. This is the worst first date ever. Absolutely terrible, Marcus agreed. We should probably just leave. We probably should. Neither of them moved. Can I tell you something weird? Sarah asked. This is the first real conversation I've had in months. Everyone at work, they talk at me, not to me. Strategy, billable hours, client management. Even my family, they need me to be strong, to have answers. But this, she gestured between them, this is just honest. Marcus nodded slowly. Sophie asked me last week if I was lonely. She's 7. She shouldn't have to worry about things like that. What did you tell her? I lied. Said I was fine. He picked at his coffee sleeve. But the truth is, I'm so lonely it physically hurts sometimes. I love my daughter more than anything, but being a parent 24/7, never having another adult who just gets it, it's exhausting. My sister told me last week that I need to live my own life, Sarah said. That I can't put everything on hold for her. But how do you live normally when someone you love is dying? How do you go to dinner parties and laugh at jokes when you know she's lying in a hospital bed, terrified? You don't, Marcus said simply. You survive. You keep going because people depend on you. And maybe someday it gets easier, but right now, you just survive. Sarah's hand was on the table, and somehow Marcus's hand had moved next to it. Not touching, but close enough. What if we made a deal? Sarah said suddenly. What if we just kept meeting like this? Not a date. Just two people who understand what it's like to carry something heavy. No pressure, no expectations. Just honesty. Marcus considered this. It went against every warning signal in his brain, every protective instinct he'd developed. But sitting here, talking to this woman who'd walked in as a stranger and somehow become the first person in 2 years who made him feel seen, it felt like breathing for the first time in ages. Okay, he said. Just honesty. Sarah smiled, a real smile this time, reaching her eyes. Just honesty. 3 months later, Marcus stood in a hospital room, holding Sarah's hand while her sister slept peacefully, the latest round of chemotherapy finally showing promising results. Sophie was reading quietly in the corner, having insisted on coming to visit Ms. Sarah's family. 6 months after that, Sarah stood in Marcus's classroom after hours, helping him prepare canvases for his student's next project, laughing as he got paint on her cheek. A year after their worst first date ever, they stood together at his friend's New Year's party, the same friends who'd set them up. When someone asked how they met, Marcus and Sarah exchanged a look. As a joke, Marcus said. That turned into the most real thing in my life, Sarah finished. Because sometimes the universe doesn't give you what you expect. Sometimes it gives you exactly what you need, disguised as everything you were trying to avoid. Sometimes a joke becomes a lifeline. Sometimes a stranger becomes home. And sometimes, when you're brave enough to show up broken, you find someone who's brave enough to be broken with you, and together, you discover that healing doesn't mean forgetting your pain. It means finding someone who helps you carry it, while you help them carry theirs. That's not a joke. That's grace. That's humanity. That's love.